All right, hello and welcome to Eagle Update edition number 2. So, in the last video, I talked a lot about the feeling of hope in the building and optimism, some new happenings, some things that were going on, electives, policies, ideas. We discussed the portrait of a graduate competency, hope, right? This time, I want to focus on leadership and collaboration. It's another portrait competency of ours because we're seeing that with our students throughout the building. Before I get into that, I do want to talk about Kids on Campus. It's an after school program. It just started yesterday, so Monday the 16th. We are still looking, it's well staffed, it's super well funded, but we are still looking for staffing. So if anyone wants to, come and apply for that and help with our after school program, we would love the help. We are also looking for substitute teachers in the building. You can apply at our central office. It's a great opportunity to stay connected with the students. So I did mention the leadership and collaboration part. How we're seeing it with our students, collaborating with the community, with other places. And I brought a few students in to kind of talk about that. So we've gone on a lot of field trips this year, and we're really excited about the first one. I'm bringing in Riley White. Riley was a student in our robotics and engineering class last year. And we actually had a chance to go to a STEM, at science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, a STEM collaborative up north. So Riley is with us. Riley, could you tell us just a little bit about the STEM Collaborative?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We ended up doing some demonstrations on with our robots and our drones that we had last year. So what we had to do was with our robots, we had to stack into a tower and then place a ball on top, and it was a race to see who could finish the stack the fastest. And you were in teams of two on each side, one on each side of the field, and whichever team got the ball and put it on top first was the winner of that.
Yeah, so this kind of built off of, so we had a competition at Belgrade High School last year, right?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the same idea.
Mhm.
So why did you do that at the STEM Collaborative?
That was so we did that there to demonstrate the Vex robotics because that was the official competition of
Mhm.
last year. That was their official, um, whatever you call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did that, and then with the drones, I think it was also Vex robotics, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. But you had these balls that you had to get into these certain goals
With the drones,
with
right?
the
Yeah, the
drones, using
drones
the
are,
air from the drone to
yeah.
push them around, and whoever had the most balls in a certain goal was the winner of that.
Great. And you demonstrated that for the whole collaborative,
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was really cool. Belgrade High School students as well as Fort Fry High School students got to go up. And this STEM collaborative was big, right? I mean, I don't know if you remember how many schools or groups were there. It was a lot. It was a big thing. So we thought this was a really big deal, a really cool opportunity for Belgrade students to get in front of people and show them what we've been doing. So thank you so much, Riley, for having a conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. So our next guest is going to be Blake Rogers. Blake just recently went to Ohio University on a field trip for Spanish Immersion Day. So Blake is in our Spanish 3-4 class. And Blake, can you tell us a little bit about Spanish Immersion Day?
Yeah, so Spanish Immersion Day is a day where we go up to Ohio University and we do all kinds of activities learning about Hispanic culture. We learn about Hispanic clothing in lots of different countries, music, history, so all kinds of things like that. But there is a catch, and that catch is you're only allowed to speak Spanish for the whole day. So that's kind of the kicker, and it's interesting because you find that you can use Spanish a lot better than you think when you have to.
Right.
When you're forced to use it and you have to figure out ways to say different things.
Sure.
That helps
When you
you
have
guys
the
as well.
crutch of being able to use your native language, right? You tend to do that. But when you don't have that crutch,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
So do you feel like this? So you've been 2 years in a row now, am I right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is an opportunity everyone in Spanish classes should have?
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely think so. I think it's very helpful in just realizing helping you be more confident in your Spanish skills, right?
Mhm.
Because you've used them, and then also just finding different ways to say different things. Because you might not know the word for something, right? But you can describe it with other words, and so I think it's really interesting. I think it's a really good learning experience.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Blake. Okay. So that was Spanish Immersion Day. Like I said, Professor Morgan has been doing that for a couple years, and I believe there's even if you use English, she told me, anytime throughout the day, there's a jail that you have to go to and do things to get out of it. And so it's a cool little activity that we get to do. So the next guest we have is Scotty Garber. So Scotty is part of our personal professional development class. It's basically kind of like a business class, and they went to a lot of places. They took a field trip, left in the morning, went to a few places, got some lunch, and then came back and went a few more places in the afternoon. So Scotty, could you tell us a little bit about that field trip?
We went to a couple places. The first place we went to was the massage place down here, and they talked about how like where they started and what they did and like how they grew as a business. And like everyone we went to, it was like an experience for everyone because like everyone went to college and got a degree that like none of them used. Like
Mhm.
everyone we went to, everyone like said that like
Yeah.
they'd never used their college degree.
That seemed like a theme was, kind of small beginnings or struggles into successful business.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that, potentially inspired you or other members of your class?
Yeah, it did. We actually have a business going on, as you know, and it's definitely I learned a lot from it.
So you say, as I know, can you talk a little bit about that?
What about it?
Well, what is it? You say there's a business.
We have our own clothing brand,
Okay.
and like we started like 2 weeks ago.
Will that be available for purchase soon?
Yes.
Right. So you feel like the PPD class, the personal professional development class, has kind of helped you realize some things that maybe you wouldn't have realized before.
Yeah.
As far as just, being able to start a business, seeing that other businesses don't just, get handed a lump of money and say, hey, go do this, right? They have to actually work for it. So yeah, that's awesome. It was a fantastic field trip. I got to meet you guys for lunch that day and talk a little bit about your experiences. And that was great for me to see all you guys out in the community. And, all the feedback we got from that was so positive. You guys did an awesome job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Scotty.
Thank you.
So our next field trip that we've been on was a Taste and Textiles field trip. So Taste and Textiles is a class, I mentioned it last week or last time we did a video. And it's, it's kind of like Home Ec 2.0. But we have Kennedy Stevens here that can talk a little bit more about it, about the class and the field trip. So can you give a little bit of a background of the class? Because Home Ec 2.0 is probably not the best way to put it, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, Taste and Textiles is basically just a chance to discover new ways to be creative and learn different materials and ways to just create a lot of different things.
Okay. So you guys went to Kreinik. Is it Kreinik Manufacturing? Kreinik, I'm sorry, I forget the actual name. Kreinik Threads? I know they do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the name.
Okay.
I don't really remember. Yeah, so we went and toured it. I think it's technically considered a factory.
Mhm.
We toured it and saw how they thread their spools, and we got to see a lot of different machines that they use on how they braid different materials and see a lot of examples of things that they've made with stuff that they create there. We also got to hear about a lot of places that they ship to, including some places in Russia, actually.
Mhm. Yeah, it was, I got the chance to come over for a little while. And what struck me was their scope and their reach outside of the Mid-Ohio Valley.
Right.
Right. So, you have this little shop in Parkersburg that ships all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I thought that was interesting. And also just, again, the vast scope of material that they had was huge.
They had
right?
a lot, and a lot of people working there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had a lot more employees than I imagined. So you guys got to make your own stuff, right?
Yes, we got to make some friendship bracelets and learn a couple different ways to do that.
Awesome. Is that an extension of what you guys are doing in the classroom?
No, it was just something that they showed us since it is like a thread factory.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
something to do with thread. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So just another way to use it, right?
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So again, Taste and Textiles, the threads and that sort of thing. It's a small part of that class. They've done cooking. They've done a bunch of things. It's really been an awesome experience. So our next guest and our last guest is Hannah Wiley. So Hannah took a trip to Cambridge with our yearbook staff to do a little bit of a training and collaboration up there. So Hannah, can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, we went to this hotel in a conference room, and we collabed with these artists that drew out the yearbook,
Okay.
like the cover, and we sat down and like
Just kind of went through the process,
we
right?
just kind of told him how we wanted it,
Yeah.
and then he made it come to life.
Yeah, so it was a cool opportunity for you guys to go and collaborate with other people to then make our yearbook more better and more professional, that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel, what do you feel like our yearbook would be where it is in planning right now if you didn't do that?
No, we were kind of rushed
Mm-hmm.
to get it, so I feel like we could be behind
Okay.
more than we are.
Yeah. So have you kept in contact with any of the artists or anyone up there? I'm just curious.
I don't know. That's Miss Grayson's
Okay, yeah,
job.
that's Mrs. Grace's job. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience for you guys to go up and get some training and collaborate with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you so much. So again, our yearbook, it's a small class, but they're working really hard. We're really excited about what they're doing. So, that's just a small highlight, and that's not even every field trip that, Belper High School students have been on this year. But it's a small highlight of what we're doing and, how our students are leading and collaborating with, again, community members, other, stakeholders in the area. We're really excited about it. So, let us know if you see this video and think of some way that you can collaborate, or someone that or a business that you might think of can collaborate, because we're all about it. So thank you very much. And as always, go Eagles.